not giving you anything, that's just an airsoft gun.
Oh yeah. Give me your wallet!
Superman, help!
You fool! Recognize me?
No?
Oh, 1 second. I'm Superman, the legendary alien.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't very clear.
You can keep your wallet, dude. I'm out. I'm out!
Hello and welcome to the show with issues. I'm Orem, and come on, let's be real. Superman isn't the most interesting hero out there. The guy is unstoppably powerful, has a goody two-shoes attitude on, well, everything, and has even risen from the dead. He's pretty much Jesus. Now, on paper that might sound pretty cool, but when all of that is thrown into the crockpot of a character that is Superman, things just get boring. There are a billion reasons for why this is, but that could be an entire video in and of itself, so let's move on. So if Superman by himself isn't interesting at all, how can this be fixed? Well, the easiest answer is to do a complete 180 on the character and turn him into a super villain, but we can't do that. Nah, he's Superman. He's been a hero for 75 years. There's no changing that now. Wait, you're telling me that Superman has been a villain multiple times over different stories and different alternate universes over his 75 years of existence? Well, that sounds awesome. I obviously don't know much about those versions of the Man of Steel, however, so I'm gonna throw it over to my good friend Drake.
Hey there guys, I'm ComicDrake. While evil supermen such as Bizarro and Ultraman are fun bad guys, I feel like they can't compare to stories where Clark Kent himself is the villain. For me, it comes down to the fact that we're all the heroes of our own stories, so when Supes goes into the realm of villainy, he legitimately thinks that he's doing the right thing. The Elseworlds story Red Sun is a great example of this, where Superman becomes the leader of the Soviet Union using his extraterrestrial gifts to position them as the most prominent global superpower. I also love that Supes goes full on Big Brother, opting to turn unruly citizens into obedient and robotic as slaves via brain surgery. Another one of my favorites is the prequel comic to the video game Injustice: Gods Among Us, where the Joker tricks Superman into killing Lois Lane, his unborn child, and all of Metropolis in one fell swoop. This completely breaks Clark and pushes him over the edge to the point where he kills the Joker. To make sure something like this never happens again, Superman decides to use the Justice League as a global peacekeeping force and issued a permanent shutdown on all war and crime. Yet when various countries don't abide by Superman's decree, the Justice League takes over the world and rules over it for humanity's own good as the regime. Batman, however, disagrees with Superman's change of values and forms a resistance to save the world from Clark's oppressive clutches. See, typically when Superman is the antagonist of a book, he's usually pitted against Batman, such as in Batman v Superman and The Dark Knight Returns. Without a doubt, these two icons are the most popular characters in DC's roster, and there have been many stories that focus on the fact that while these men have their differences, they are the same on a fundamental level. That's what makes these matchups so powerful and meaningful. If events had gone just slightly differently in their lives, both Batman and Superman could have easily become each other. But hey, that's enough out of me, so back to you, Orem.
Thanks for the history lesson, Drake. All of that leaves us with a question though. If Superman fundamentally as a character is a hero, why is he so much more interesting as a villain? Psychiatrist Carl Jung proposes one such answer in his idea of our shadow selves. What this means is that there is a part of ourselves, our shadow, that is the complete opposite of who we are as a person and plays a very important role in growth and individuality. Encountering your shadow unlocks doors that you would have never opened had you not been in this situation in the first place. Reading stories about this heroic guy who saves the world every day without breaking a sweat doesn't help us grow as people. But seeing that he can be inherently evil, a villain can show us that we could be susceptible and victim to that as well, and in those cases, we learn something new about ourselves. There is, however, a risk that comes with encountering your shadow. You could potentially merge with it. This happens when you don't learn and grow from those doors that you've opened. You instead take the new information that you learned about yourself and revel in it, becoming the opposite of who you inherently are and ultimately failing yourself as a person. This can actually be seen in characters like the Hulk, with the constant struggle of Bruce Banner and his monstrous personality always lurking in the shadows. We root for Bruce to control the Hulk because we don't want to see him lose himself. We don't want to lose ourselves. Similarly to the shadow argument is Sigmund Freud's idea of the id, ego, and superego. The id being our need to be satisfied immediately, the ego being our conscious decisions to control the id and ourselves, and the superego being what controls impulses from the id that are deemed social taboos. These are all very simple definitions of those concepts, by the way. Anyway, this argument presents another reason for why we, as humans, might inherently love supervillains. The id needs and wants constantly. It thirsts for immediate satisfaction and will do anything to get what it wants. What if reading stories about supervillains satisfies that? And to take this to another level, seeing a hero merge with his shadow and turn bad shows the id that even if we're good now, there's always a chance chance that we can start being careless and doing whatever, regardless of the ego and superego, to get anything we want. This fulfills the id's needs without actually doing anything harmful, which actually loops into another reason why these stories are so intriguing: wish fulfillment. Supervillains can do whatever they want, whenever they want. Even when in prison, they're always known to break out sooner or later. Like the Riddler said in 2013's Batman number 15, he could have escaped Arkham at any given time using one of 46 ways if he so wished. Villains are shown to be all-powerful, especially when it comes to Superman, so when we read stories about beings of immense power and freedom, it's heavy wish fulfillment. We relate to these characters on a deeper level than we do with heroes. Villains are complex and three-dimensional characters. They have quirks, motives, and secrets, all these interesting traits that make up something that intrigues us on a deeper level. When we see this god of a character turn into something that he hates, it makes him human. At the end of the day, we see that Superman has flaws, and just like us, can make mistakes. So, what about all of you? Do you agree with us that Superman is more relatable and interesting as a villain? Do you prefer villains over heroes? I know this is one of the reasons people love Batman so much. His villains are what makes him who he is, and that's for sure very intriguing. Oh, and be sure to go check out Drake's channel. I'm also his editor, so you won't be totally lost over there. Anyway, before you head out, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on anything that I upload every Friday and soon every Wednesday. That all being said, thank you so much for watching. Next time I beat a bro up and he starts calling out for someone and I'm like, "Why did you say that name?" Okay.